I call this meeting to order. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First item on the agenda is public input. And just let everybody know, Councilor Amy Smith is with us. She's on the phone here. You probably can't see it, but here's the phone. And because of that, we're going to have the public input and all other presentations up here, just so that she can, so we can ensure that she can hear everything. Starting off with public input, the first person on the list is Nancy Cliff. Yeah, it's a long one. And make sure that you hit the button. Go ahead and hit the button. The white one right there. Perfect.
Hi, I'm Nancy Cliff, and I'm just here because I wanted to recognize Mike Morona's tenures as mayor and council member. We feel they've been excellent. Your support of the Continental Divide Trail Gateway community effort helped Silver City achieve that significant milestone. Thank you so much for your dedicated service. We look forward to working with you on trails issues once you return to civilian life. And we provided a card signed by Shelby Hallmark, Bob Wilson, and me, and many more hikers and walkers too. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Wateo Lopez for general comments. Mr. Lopez.
I'd like to start my time after I thank you. I just want to say thank you, Mike, since it's an occasion for serving. We voted for you. We encouraged other people to vote for you. We live in the same neighborhood, and I hope to see you back in public office. I worked with you with kids and sports, and you've always been a fair individual, a kind man, and I thank you for your service. Yes. I'm here to try to finish up what I was speaking on last time. I was trying to figure out how could I get my point across to the counselors and about the so-called smart meters being installed in our community. So I thought the best example was to bring one of these CFLs. What I'm holding in my hand here is considered hazardous waste. It has mercury gas in it. And if I dropped it in this room would be entirely contaminated. It would release 50,000 what's called nanograms of mercury. And in the United States, the limit for that is 300 nanograms of exposure. Now, I'm very careful with this. I brought it in a bag with a rag. I've removed every one of these from my home within the past 5 years, and I never buy them anymore. When they were first put on the market, these were marketed as longer lasting, safe and effective light bulbs that you could save money on. And this is the same concept that the smart meters are being marketed on all across our country right now. As I look around and I see these individuals from the Midwest, young kids installing them in our community, I ask myself if they really ever had the permission from our community to install those smart meters, which emit high levels of radiation through electromagnetic frequency waves, which affect the brain, blood barrier. It poisons our blood. It leads to cancers. It destroys the vibration frequency of the body. And for little children, it's highly destructive. And for old folks who have compromised immune systems. So, and from the sidewalk into our home, it's within the range to cause cancers and destruction. What's my concern is that this is a foot in the door for eventually another city council starting to put electric reading meters on our homes, the smart electric meters reading our electricity in our homes. This is the water meter on the sidewalk, and throughout the country it's happened to where they're putting it on the side of a wall. And we have old folks with running bloody noses, high levels of cancer, children getting sick, people with compromised immune systems dying early deaths. It's a serious matter. I understand that at Vicky's Eatery every Monday at 7 o'clock they're showing the film Take takeyourpowerback.com. You can watch on film on your, I mentioned it last time. It's a very good video presenting education across the country of people who have refused this, and then also convince their counselors to roll back the installations and take them all out and get rid of them and go back to analog readers for the safety and health and well-being of the community, which is the mission statement of our town. So since I brought this hazardous waste with me today that I'm going to take to Ace Hardware and have them destroy in the proper manner, I'm thinking about the same thing that happens with these water meters. And I'm asking the city council if they could reconsider, take a look at this, place a moratorium on it, have intensive education throughout the community, show the video, and then maybe put it to a popular vote after we have weighed both sides of the situation. I'm at 3 minutes, so I'm going to close. I understand that the decision to place the water meters in our community was through a federal grant, a grant of money that we received that we had to do something with in order that we didn't lose that money. So I think we might have rushed to judgment, and I know for sure that it wasn't put to a vote before the community. There's opposition now, there's education going on, and they're passing out all kinds of information and trying to educate the community about this. The next step that we're trying to do is to stop them from placing a cell tower on the campus of Silver High School. The school board is trying to implement that for a measly $12,000 a year. It's shown that students at San Diego State and other colleges next to cell towers have died of cancers. Entire dorms, kids in dorms have died early of cancers. This is a danger to our community. It compromises the safety and well-being of our community, which is the sole responsibility of our council and our police force and everybody in the community. Public safety is number one. So I'm hoping, in closing, that you guys might consider taking another look at this, putting a moratorium on it, stopping it, bringing in professionals from both sides. And I know you guys have said you've done your study, but please reconsider. Take a look at it. Some people, the most common thing I've heard people say is, look, I carry a cell phone around, I'm okay. But you look at their health, they're not okay. They have teeth missing, hair missing, they have cancer in their family, there's people dying. So we're really not okay. And in closing, I'd like to say thank you for allowing us to constantly bring this before you, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep trying. Thank you.
Mr. Lopez. Next, that was the last person on public input, so next item is council comments, and I'll go ahead and start. Of course, this is formally my last meeting, and barring staff bringing up some sort of special meeting between now and when the next mayor takes office, and I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll just have to see. But that being said, I was only mayor for the one term, but prior to that, I was a councilor for 2 terms, so I've been up here representing Silver City for a while, and it's just been a humbling experience to do so, and a very educational experience to do so. It's a wonderful community, very broad, eclectic, and just very inclusive. Lots of different ideas, lots of different types of people, and every single one of them are just extremely important and human beings, and it's just been wonderful working with all of them. But probably one of the biggest educations I've had is learning what our staff, what this pretty good-sized government entity in Grant County does. It's a large entity that provides many different services to our community, and the people involved in operating this has just been spectacular. And I always I like to give credit to management, the directors, the heads of the departments, for the leadership and the culture that they've created that is allowed for this type of service and the people that we have. It's in spite of it being very, very difficult. One of the things when I first came onto the council was at a time when our economy nationwide was really bad, and I thought as an accountant I might have something to help mitigate and help smooth out our community. And the one thing I notice is that with the conservative leadership that we have, that we came out and we've been handling ourselves in a pretty healthy manner in spite of some big hurdles that have been thrown our way, whether it's by the state or if it's just merely what the environment has given us. That being said, we've been operating on a very, very small labor force. We're understaffed almost in every department, and I hear that, and I've empathized with that. We've had trouble giving appropriate raises that we would love, that our council would love to be giving everybody, that our staff would love to be giving everybody. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. So with an underpaid and undermanned staff, we still continue to, I believe, give top-notch service. Even as mayor, I think, I'm in the position that I'm going to be hearing most of the gripes. And there are a few gripes. Many of them are valid. But when I sit back and I look at how few those gripes are and how they relate to the entire job that's being done, I am just extremely impressed with what everybody's done. And we have a number of those staff here, starting with Alex Brown, our attorney, Robert Scavron, Ann Mackey, the police chief, our assistant manager, code enforcement, fire is represented here. Just all these departments are just doing a spectacular job, and that's the one thing I'm the most proud of, and actually very extremely comfortable in leaving it to the next mayor. As we move forward and we swear in a new mayor in a couple weeks, and potentially a new councilor in District 1, where I have no fear. I have the utmost confidence that our community is just going to continue to thrive and do good work. And it's just been a wonderful community, very humbling. I appreciate everybody being here, who is here to support me, and thank you all. And with that, I'll go to Councilor Bedison.
Thank you, Mayor. Every day I am, and I think all of us are enriched by the many volunteers that we have in our community, volunteers that serve on town committees, in local civic and service organizations, at the hospital, and I want to say our own town councilors and mayor. Thank you, Mayor, for for a very enjoyable 6 years working with you. 4 as a council member, and 2 as your mayor pro tem, and I really have enjoyed it. And it is sad to see you departing, but I do hope that in the future you'll come back to elected service in somewhere. It could be somewhere along the line in any number of different sorts of offices, but it has truly been a pleasure and an honor to work with you. I learn from every mayor, I learn from every staff member, and I learn from every council member that we have. I think we've done some really wonderful things as a council, and as with you as our mayor, we've really been able to move us forward, and it is in good hands for whomever the next mayor will be. Our staff does an incredible job, but I want to thank you personally for your volunteerism, and it just really shows the type of person you are to be able to step up and do this, because it is volunteer work. And thank you for your time. I also want to thank the veterans that are in our audience. Thank you for your sacrifice and your service, because we can only do what we do here as a town council because of the service you have given to us in our country. So thank you, and thank you, Councilor Ray, for your service as well. As he's shaking his head. I also wanted to mention that one of our regular folks that comes to our town council meetings is not here today. And that's because Alan Mung rapidly passed away last week. And I mourn his loss. I mourn his loss for our community. He was a beautiful person, and he was to be one of our election workers on March 1st. So he did volunteer to learn how to do that. Election workers are paid, not very much, but he did volunteer, learned all the election processes, and was really excited about doing that. And I just wanted to say that out there somewhere, I know that Alan is with us right now, and enjoying this meeting and saying thank you to you as well, Mayor. Lastly, I wanted to go to just sort of mundane, but not really mundane things. We have a workshop coming up that will be hosted by the Small Business Development Center called Do You Qualify for a LEDA Grant? And it's a practical information session that will be presented by Christine Logan, who is an economic developer from the New Mexico Economic Development Department. And the sorts of questions that we want you to think about are you a new or expanding business? Will you be creating new jobs? And are you an economic-based business? The presentation will be held on March 15th, 2016, between 4 and 5 p.m. at the Small Business Development offices at Watts Hall. And I have some flyers. Thank you to the town for putting some flyers out on the table. And those folks that come have an opportunity, if they're an attendee, to receive individual consultations immediately following the presentation for about an hour. They'll be kind of quick turnaround ones. And I see one of the folks that's helped with this, Priscilla Lucero, in putting this together from the Council of Governments. So this is the first in what may be a series of different sorts of presentations on funding that may be available to expand or create a new business. So if you're interested, pick up a flyer. I have one up here if you'd like it. And I know that it'll be out and about, and hopefully we'll put something in the paper about it as well. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you again for your service.
Thank you, Councilor Amon Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll make this brief because it is kind of awkward doing this distance meeting, but I just want to say that I am here in the meeting virtually, so I am choosing to spend some time with my family. And it's really good that we're spending time together because Alan Long from Council of Edison acknowledged was practically an adopted member of our family. And so losing him was hard on us, and we're cooking roast potatoes right now, something that he really would like, and we're going to be spending time as a family remembering him. And I appreciate being able to join you virtually. And the only other thing I want to say is thank you, Mayor Moronis, for having been such an even-tempered, open to looking at many sides of an issue, inclusive mayor. That is really a role model that I hope all future mayors emulate, about really being open to weigh various aspects of an issue and weigh them with such calm and equanimity. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Ray.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to tell you thank you. And I've had the opportunity to work with two good mayors here in Silver, Mayor Marshall and Mayor Moronis, and they are both very, very knowledgeable about the city and the staff. I don't think you could ask for a better mayor. Also, por favor, voten for the mayor coming up. As a matter, there's 3 candidates, 2 councilors. Por favor, voten. I have been asked about having some of the lights downtown, if it could be possible to raise the lights for be brighter. I don't know, maybe we can work on something like that. The lights are kind of low, and people want to come downtown and want to feel more safe in downtown. I've been also asked that why our restaurants aren't open on Sundays. We don't know that. Maybe with a new restaurant coming in, maybe they'll open up on Sundays. Mr. Brown, is it possible to put up some flags at Golf Park? Okay, because I've been asked about that also. Again, thank you, Mayor, and God bless America, and look at all the veterans right here. It is nice to see everyone here, and we should have more people like this come to our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Kano?
Thank you, Mayor. I guess I'm the last one for now who gets to say thank you for your service. I've stepped into your council seat when you became the mayor, and those were some pretty big shoes to fill. And I've learned a lot from you, and I really appreciate your service. I also want to share something that you all don't know. Councilor Benson and I go to municipal league trainings constantly. We go constantly. And we've met people from, I think, all 107 municipalities at this point. And Silver City is very unique in, we're the only municipality where the council gets along with the mayor. Every single time we go to training, we hear from the councilors how much they hate the mayor, and the mayor how much they hate their councilors. But that doesn't happen in Silver City, and that's because we have such a good leader. And so I know that our new mayor is going to have a lot of work to do the same thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can fill your shoes. Thank you. Oh, and also, I'm sorry. I do have an announcement, too. Friday, February 26th is the absolute last day to early vote. You can do that at City Hall until 5 p.m. And then the election is on Tuesday, March 1st, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Women's Club on the highway. So please, please, every person who lives in Silver City, you need to go vote. Right now we have probably record turnout, but it would be nice to see some more people go and vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. I don't have any further comments. Does anybody need round two? Okay. Any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
Approval of minutes? Councilor Benson?
I move to approve the minutes of the regular town council meeting of February 9th, 2016.
Councilor Kano?
That motion is stated.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the minutes of the regular meeting for the town of Silver City, February 9th, 2016. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda under reports is a report from Silver City Arts and Cultural Districts for their second quarter tourism report. Lee?
This is good. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and town councilors. Nice to be here, and I, too, want to add my voice to thank you for the service you've given, and it has been a pleasure to work with you. Thank you for your support. The second quarter report is a little late. Sorry? Is this better?
For Linda.
Okay. We now have a new director in place, and I wanted to introduce you to her. Her name is Callie Kennington, and she's right here at my side and has moved here from Indiana, and just want her to have a few words with you.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited to take on the role of Executive Director for the Arts and Cultural District. So far, I've experienced such a warm welcome from everyone in town, from all different levels, and it was such a pleasant experience coming here already and meeting everyone and experiencing the town and community and what it has to offer. So, I just wanted to say thank you for being so welcoming so far, and I'm looking forward to working with the town, with the community on the Arts and Cultural District Board. I also wanted to say that I'm not the only new member in our offices. We have a member joining us named Christy Curd, and she will be with, she's an AmeriCorps volunteer, and she will be working with the Continental Divide Trail in our offices. So that's a great partnership we're hoping to work further on. just a statistic, we're estimated to double the amount of numbers of hikers coming through this year along the CDT trail, and the celebration of Silver City as a gateway community will be in April. So that's something to look forward to as well.
And we distributed the report to you. Are there any questions about that report, or would you like me to review? And I know we like to keep this as short as possible.
We are short.
Okay, sure.
Is there any questions?
No back comment.
Councilor Benson?
Thank you for the report. It was excellent, providing us with the information. I know that my staff will be contacting you to ask you to help us make sure everybody knows that the museum, the university, has not closed for renovations yet. It's a long way off, and we'll let everybody know. But yes, we're open, because we find that we're getting lots of phone calls, even from folks in town, saying, I've got folks here, and we don't know if we're open or not. And so we'll be asking for your assistance in that. Thank you.
Absolutely, we can help with that. The Arts and Cultural District Tourism will be holding another town forum, and that will be on March 15th. And during that time, we hope to work with the community in regards to what is available to the community for marketing events and businesses as well. So we look forward to that on the 15th of March. Yes. And one more thing I want to say. I am a Pollyanna kind of gal, and I'm sort of proud of that. The Visitor Center we had 97 people come through there on Tuesday, middle of the week. And on Wednesday, there were 86 people who came through. So for those who are just worried about whether or not people are coming here and seeking out Silver City, I say there's a lot to be happy about. So thank you all. We appreciate it.
Thank you. And just a brief comment, especially for the public, we have a nice little turnout. In many cases, somebody might be wondering, why are we having a report from the ACD? Just for the public's awareness, we give professional service contracts to a few different entities to provide services that we don't do in-house. The ACD, in many ways, is our marketing department. They ensure that people really across the globe, but predominantly in some specific areas, but across the nation, that they know what Silver City is. They're aware of what we have to offer, and hopefully giving realistic expectations, so when we have tourism, that we're able to meet those expectations. And this report, it's actually quite a lengthy report, and it gives a lot of statistics that I'm sure you don't want to really know about, but because they're doing a job for us under a professional service contract, we make sure that they come in and report to us and let us know what kind of bang for our buck we're getting. And we've been pleasantly not surprised, but it's great work that you ladies have been doing, and the ACD is well worth our money. We get a good return on our dollar. Thank you. Councilor Benson?
So y'all said that you're going to have a thing on March 15th, another one of those sort of forums. When, in what time?
Yes,
And where?
I just heard you talk about the lead-up.
Yeah.
It will be at 6 o'clock, so it will be after that, and it will be up at the Global Resource Center in the auditorium.
Thank you very much. I think that if we can do that, that's great.
Yes, look forward to it.
Any other questions?
Any questions?
Councilor Amos-Smith, do you have any questions?
Nope, but thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Staff reports, Mr. Brown? Absolutely.
I've got a few reports. The first being that the animal control officer will start on next Monday. She had to give her 2 weeks' notice. We offered her the job last week, but she had to give her 2 weeks' notice. So there'll be a little bit of training, and then she'll be hitting the streets, taking care of that, because I know we've been getting a lot of calls about that. The second is the light at the intersection of 180 and 14th. The driller should be out there either late this week or Monday of next week, drilling, and they will install the underground equipment. It should take a day to install all of that. Then they will pour the concrete that's necessary, and it'll take about 4 or 5 days for that to cure. And then they will come back up and be able to put the lights and everything up within a day. So we should have that light up by the second week in March. Okay, next is the lease for the water rights for Hurley. Will be coming to you at the next council meeting. I won't be here because the Colonias Initiative funding presentations are on March 9th in the morning in Ruidoso. So I'll be helping Peter and Robert present ours, and Hurley present theirs, and then be presenting the Colonias for the Solid Waste Authority. But that will be here in front of you to reaffirm that you agree with the lease, the long-term lease, which has been negotiated. We've been working on for 6 years. Also, we will also have a short-term lease with Western New Mexico University for the operation of the golf course. As Silver Fairways will not be here, will stop operating on February 29th. At the end of business that day. So we need to get that short-term lease in place with Western, give us time to negotiate and figure out a long-term solution to the operation of the golf course. James will be presenting all of that to you on that day. He just found out right now. So, do you have any questions?
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Any other staff reports? Perfect. Just as a part of the staff reports, I'm going to use this time to mention that one of the projects that we've been working with the Main Street project, another one of our service providers for economic development, will be opening up the Silco on the 26th to the public. It's a wonderful thing. We'll actually now have a second movie theater, because the Western has one that's been operating. But it's great from an economic development standpoint that we have that offer to our citizens. It creates quite a dilemma when we're trying to recruit doctors, professionals, any type of laborers, or even new business, when your community doesn't have a theater, and we've been in that unfortunate dilemma for a couple of years, and I'm hoping that this is going to be a very good economic generator for us in the future. So anybody who wants to go watch a movie this Friday, Star Wars this Friday, so please show up. With that, before we go on to new business, Councilor Cano?
Mr. Mayor, I move for a short recess. Councilor Mayor, I second.
We have a motion and a second for a short recess. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are in recess. We'll be back here in a couple minutes. Call this meeting back to order. Next item on the agenda under new business is A, disapproval of resolution number 2016-10, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Silver City supporting the naming of the Hudson Street Bridge located on Highway 90 in Silver City as the Veterans Memorial Bridge, sponsored by Councilor Ray. Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I have the opportunity and the thankfulness of the veterans, of the local veterans that asked me to do this for them. I want to do it because we're all veterans. It is a nice thing to do. We need to do something like this more often for the veterans. The bridge is a very good place to start. People that will come down will look at it and they say, wow, it's a Veterans Bridge. One of the things that I like about the name of it is that it doesn't discriminate against anybody. We're all veterans, we should all be veterans. We are just plain veterans, regardless of what branch of service you serve, we are just veterans. At one time or another, we were all different types of soldiers, not anymore. And I think that this thing here is a good thing for Grant County, and a good thing for Silver City. And I'm honored to propose this veterans here. And for the people, I'll say it in Spanish. Este puente va a estar nombrado por los veteranos de Grant County, para todos los veteranos, no nomás un solo organization, pero para todos. Again, thank you guys, and we will bring it up to the councilors here, we'll bring it up, and hopefully that they can propose to it, and hopefully they can go with it. And again, thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to do this.
Is there any questions or comments, Councilor Ray? Councilor Bedison?
Sorry, I wasn't quite sure if it was me or Councilor Ray. Thank you. I have a comment, but I have a question, so let me ask the question first. So, the resolution is for us to support the state of New Mexico, because are they ultimately the ones that would be doing the naming rights, Councilor Ray?
Right.
Okay.
We have the paperwork here, they did the paperwork, the group did the paperwork for the DOT, and apparently they got permission, we just have to go to the resolutions by the town council. And also, from what I understand, is that they will try and put a sign on the south side and a sign on the north side,
Okay.
going and coming, or from both directions. Okay.
And my comment, I just think it's really important, when we look at this, is to remind folks that, veterans are everyone that has served in our armed forces. They don't necessarily have to, be folks that served during wartime. It can be anyone that has served our country at any time. And, I think of, a former professor at the university, Dorothy Blaylock, who was a wave during World War II. I mean, she did an incredibly important job, even though she wasn't on the battlefield. And this is celebrating everyone, men, women, everyone that has ever served in any capacity in our armed forces. And so I do think this is wonderful. I don't want folks to think that it's just about war. It's not. It's about the service that all of you have given to the country, in our country, and all those that are now gone that have given to our country. In any capacity that they've been able to do in our armed forces. So, thank you all. Thank you, Councilor Ray, for bringing this forward.
You're more than welcome. Thank you guys.
Councilor Kano, did you have any? Councilor Raymond Smith, did you have any comments or questions?
No, I think that is a lovely idea.
Okay. You know, I was more than happy to have Councilor Ray sponsor this. It's you can't recognize veterans enough. The service they do, that they volunteer to do for our country is remarkable. In fact, I don't know if I'm more nervous, this being my last council meeting, or more nervous being in the presence of such great people who have served their country at a far greater level than I could ever achieve. And I'm always proud to do anything that remotely recognizes them in any manner that they can be proud of. I think this is a good thing, and I fully support the council pushing this forward. Councilor Ray?
One more thing. A lot of us were young at that time. A lot of us were drafted, and a lot of us went volunteer. Irregardless, we had to do what we had to do, whether we liked it or not. We have to follow orders. We're back now. Let's forget it. Let's all be more united. This thing can happen in more municipalities. We need to do more things for veterans. And not that we're crying about it. No, we're not crying about it, but we'd like to have a little bit of due respect once in a while. And with that, I move to approve resolution number 2016-10, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Silver City supporting the naming of the Hudson Street Bridge located on Highway 90 in Silver City as the Veterans Memorial Bridge. Councilor Collins?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second the motion as stated.
We have a motion and a second for approval of resolution number 2016-10, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Silver City supporting the naming of the Hudson Street Bridge located on Highway 90 in Silver City as the Veterans Memorial Bridge. Is there any further discussion among the council? Would the public like to comment on this resolution?
Mayor and Councilman, I would like to say one thing, I have been involved with veterans since way back in the 90s, and we started first by just trying to see if we could get together and form a strong support group, and just pushing the things that we believe were strongly right and righteousness for all veterans, and I think that we've come a long ways. And through the years, you can see that the strength of the veteran is getting stronger, but there's a lot of work we need to do. And yes, this bridge is going to make a significant difference because like Mr. Ray mentioned, we are veterans. We believe in being veterans. We did our job and we're honored to be here. Some of us still have Vietnam in our minds, but some of us weren't able to come back. And those are the ones that we do this for, the ones that were not able to come back, because you know what? They could have also supported what we're doing now. But now we've got to stand up for them. And the purpose here is not to believe that you're separate organizations, but that you're just one complete organization as veterans, which carries a lot of weight. And in the future, as we see that VA issues are changing, veterans are losing more and more strength, we got to develop that power again to be able to fight for those that are coming back with disabilities, mental illness, and the rest of illnesses that they may have. But it takes a few to make a significant difference. And I appreciate what the city of Silver City has done. And at this time, I think that you're moving in the right direction, awareness. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to comment? Mr. Davis?
Mr. Mayor and council members, I just want to say thank you very much. This means a lot to all the veterans. And as you can see, there are several of them here tonight. Jose, we really appreciate you taking this on and what you're doing. And Mayor, we thank you for what you've done for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or discussion? We have a motion and a second, as read into the record. Roll call.
Councilor Kano? Aye. Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Amos Smith? Aye. Councilor Madison?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of a memorandum of understanding working together throughout the Promise Zone term. Mr. Brown?
It will be Emily from the Council of Governments who will be presenting it.
Perfect.
Good evening,
Just for
Mr.
you.
Mayor and councilors. First of all, thank you, Mayor, for your service and your support of the Council of Governments. With that, the Promise Zone application was actually due today, and it is sent off, but we have put on the memorandum that it was scheduled for today for approval for the town of Silver City. The Promise Zone, we have applied for 2 previous years. First year, we were runner-up to Highlands, Kentucky, and last year, we were 3rd. So this year, 3rd time is a charm. Hopefully, we are designated as a region. So the region consists of the 4 counties that the Council of Governments represents: Catron, Grant, Hidalgo, and Luna, and the incorporated municipalities, Colonias, and all the other COG board members. We do have 2 school districts that are on board. Cobury School District is scheduled for approval next week. Silver Schools did sign the memorandum of understanding. So what the Promise Zone is an initiative by President Obama to help the well-being of children so they can grow up in safe environment, have above substandard housing, quality education. There's economic opportunities to keep our kids in rural America. So there was a lot of information that went into this application, and I would personally and publicly like to thank Chief Reynolds for being so supportive, and actually one of our first police departments to really get me all the information that I had requested, which was quite a lot. So I would like to thank him, because this year we did have to have actual stats from our local law enforcement agency. So there was a lot of information, because we can't pull the stats from the FBI websites because of such small departments. Then all of our local governments are in support. Silver City has been supportive. The last 2 times we've only asked for letter of support, not memorandum of understanding. So that's why we're here today, is because that was one of the criteria of the application. So with that, I'll stand for questions.
Is there any questions? Councilor Bedson?
So for the public, could you talk about the length of term if we do receive the Promise Zone, and sort of I guess there's some potential incentives in terms of preferences for federal programs and things like that? If you could just kind of elaborate on what this will do for the 4-county area.
So, Mayor, Councilor Bedison, the Promise Zone is a 10-year designation, and it is a joint application between HUD, USDA, Department of Education, and Department of Justice. And with that, we would be able to get 5 AmeriCorps Vista employees, which are capacity building AmeriCorps employees. We'd have 5 of them within the region. We'd have a federal liaison that would help guide all of our agencies to what funding opportunities would benefit them. And we would also receive preferential points, much like the strike force zones do in the application process. So, not saying that we would be awarded everything we applied for, but we would definitely have extra points to move to the top. Highlands, Kentucky, in the first year, there was a $10 million investment in their region. So there's potentially a lot of money that could be placed within the 4 counties. And also the feds are trying to place business tax credits for any businesses that are within the Promise Zone region.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Councilor Amos Smith, do you have any questions?
No, Emily and I have talked about this before, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to let everybody know, I fully support this. I think, I believe in rural America, for one thing, but also, as I've mentioned before, it being more of an economically driven person, I always like adding tools to our toolbox, and this is definitely one of those. It strengthens our granting opportunities and opens up many granting opportunities, so I hope the council will push this forward. Councilor Edison.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I know that we've supported this twice before through a letter, and I've heard about the program, and I like the way it's a promise zone, so that we're looking at new economic development opportunities, making sure that we provide educational and housing opportunities for our children in our local area, decreasing crime and poverty and unemployment rates, and really trying to enhance the quality of life throughout these, the region, the counties, the towns, the cities, and the villages that are within our area. And with that, I move to approve the memorandum of understanding working together throughout the Promise Zone term.
Councilor Ray?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that as read.
We have a motion second for approval of memorandum of understanding working together throughout the Promise Zone term. Is there any further discussion? Is there any comments from the public? We have a motion and a second as read into the record. We don't need a roll call for this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, I'll leave to the town manager.
Mayor, on behalf of the community, the town staff, myself, I really want to present you with this honorary gavel that's got your name and everything engraved on.
Is that because I hit too hard, or?
Yeah. Kevin's going to charge us for that one. So, but I really appreciate everything working with you, and it's been an honor.
Thank you. Thank you. It's, as I mentioned before, it's been an absolute honor serving this community, and this is, just looking at this crowd, every one of you that I've had any type of dealings with has always been extremely positive and worthwhile and working towards the betterment of this community. Even in cases where may not have even seen eye to eye, it's always been driving towards betterment, and this is, I really appreciate all this. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And so, as soon as the council adjourns the meeting, please join us for some cake and punch, please.
Thank you. So that's, what do you got? Myself. Nothing in particular. Absolutely. Councilor Edison?
Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn your last meeting as our mayor.
Councilor Ray?
We all second it. And I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second for adjournment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Please join us in the back if you like.